Who is the ATP Player of the Year, Rafa or Roger? It's a tough call.
Roger Federer's amazing 2017 season ranks as one of the best from his legendary career. He's lost only 4 matches all year en route to winning 5 titles, including the Australian Open, where he bested his arch-nemesis in a 5-set thriller for the ages, and Wimbledon, where he cruised through the final without dropping a set. Not to be outdone, Rafael Nadal has put together what may be an even more impressive campaign. He absolutely dominated the clay court season with 3 titles in the lead-up to La Decima, his 10th Roland Garros title. Nadal then went on to recapture the world #1 ranking and, shortly thereafter, his 3rd US Open trophy. In all, Nadal has won 6 titles in 2017. So, when it's all said and done, who will be named ATP Player of the Year, Roger or Rafa? That's this week's Tough Call.
All right, Rafa and Roger, I mean, we can go by the numbers. We just look at the numbers first and just go, let's go science. We'll start with the science, the numbers. Here is the tale of the tape in 2017. We know the rankings points. Rafa is #1 in the world, and he's got 1 more title. But then again, Roger, 9-1 versus the top 10, only has 4 losses all year. Who is the ATP Player of the Year? Lindsay?
Well, for me, there's no question. It's Roger Federer and what he's been able to accomplish this year. I think you said it, only 4 losses. He won 2 majors. The biggest thing, 3-0 against Nadal. And those were all huge matches, able to beat him in the final of the Australian Open, in Indian Wells, and then again the final of Miami. Won 7 of 9 sets against Nadal. He played great, and he didn't play the clay court season, so he kind of knew it was going to be hard to get the #1 ranking when he took that chunk of time off. But we'll see. He could still win in Shanghai, win in Paris, or win in London, and still end up world #1. But I think his results with only 4 losses trumps Nadal.
Well, I think he had an unbelievable year. It's incredible that we're talking about these 2 guys as the Player of the Year still, but I think I'm going to take Rafa, and I don't count head-to-head as much. I don't count it as big a factor when I'm thinking of like the greatest of all time as well, as Rafa has dominated that one, and I think Roger is still the greatest of all time. But I think this year, I'm taking the fact that there's sometimes a debate about quantity over quality. Well, Roger clearly has the quality. Rafa has quantity and quality. He's won more. He's won 62 times compared to Roger's 40. So he's won more matches. He's going to finish #1 most likely. And I just think that 2 slams, and Rafa's played more tennis and played more high-level, top-level tennis.
Lindsay turned the Rafa argument about careers on its head. People would say, how can Roger be the greatest player of all time if he's not the greatest player of his era? How can Rafa be the #1 player in 2017 when he never beat Roger?
Because I don't put as much stock in just the head-to-head. I think of that having so much more to do with matchups. I don't think it matters if you beat someone 6 times, 5 times, or however many times you played them. I think it has more to do with your whole results in general. And I'd take Rafa for this year, and I'd take Roger for the career. So at this point, they both have plenty more chapters left, amazingly, in 2017.
Okay, if Roger wins Shanghai, does your argument change at all if he's able to add another Masters 1000?
Yeah, just like with the women, if you can add in after the end of the year
event. We'll be talking Saturday.
I'll be getting a text Saturday for sure.
Especially if he beats Rafa in the final.
If he beats Rafa, again, my phone will be off.
You guys can get in on the discussion on tennis.com and tennischannel.com. And by the way, if you're handicapping the race, the last time the world #1 didn't win Player of the Year was 1989. Lendl was the world #1 at year's end. Boris Becker was the Player of the Year. Just food for thought.